Tonight on Connecticut's news station, Sergeant reinstated.
Are you done yet?
The newest developments in this fiery and violent exchange caught on police body camera.
Near 50 degrees tomorrow, but then we're on the weather watch for a winter storm. Snow, sleet, rain. We'll time it out for you coming up.
Also, student found dead. We have the very latest as a Connecticut university is mourning her death.
Stolen vehicle alert. One town dealing with dozens of vehicle thefts in only the first 2 months of the year.
And searching for answers. In a special report tonight, the family of a Connecticut woman who died while on a date seeks justice.
Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And we begin at 10 with a weather watch alert. We are tracking another winter storm in Connecticut this week. Good evening, I'm Jen Bernstein.
And I'm Ben Goldman. Thanks for joining us here at 10. Today's warmer temperatures melted quite a bit of the snow that fell yesterday, but there's more winter weather coming our way.
We want to check in with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank for a first look at the forecast. Rachel.
Yeah, we have a little bit more time for melting before this next storm system arrives. We are dry heading into Friday during the day, but Friday night, that's when we start to see our winter storm. Notice I said winter storm and not snowstorm because this time around we're expecting a little bit of everything. Snow to start, transitioning over to ice, and then finishing as rain for many areas. This time around, we're also talking about the chance for gusty winds up around 40 miles per hour. But in terms of impact, we're not expecting any outages. It's really just going to be slippery roads Friday night into Saturday morning, especially towards daybreak. In terms of snow, we're not expecting a lot of accumulation before that changeover. For most of the state, maybe a coating up to a few inches, and we'll show you our preliminary map. Most accumulation in the hills, the least at the shoreline, and then some slop on top as we make that transition. Earlier today, we had a little bit of snow, we had a little bit of rain, we had a little bit of snow pellets that were bouncing across the state. Those have moved out, but we are seeing areas of mist and drizzle moving in off of Long Island Sound, and that area of showers will grow and develop as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. So no icing for the morning commute, but it will be wet. 38 degrees right now in the Hartford area. Temperatures holding steady as we head through the overnight hours, and tomorrow to start off the day, it's looking damp with areas of rain. Then as we head through the afternoon, clouds break for sun, and it's another meltorama with temperatures headed up towards the 50-degree mark, mid-50s possible at the shoreline, and a nice evening tomorrow night. Again, dry all day Friday, and then we are watching Friday night into Saturday morning. Still a lot of things we need to iron out, a lot of uncertainty, but we'll step you through it. Full forecast coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. New at 10, a state labor board has reinstated a Torrington police sergeant who was fired after a use of force investigation. Tonight, people showed support for that sergeant at a Board of Public Safety meeting. He spoke exclusively tonight to Fox 61's Gabby Molina. She joins us live in Torrington tonight with more on this story. Gabby.
Ben, this is the decision from that state board that says that Gerald Peters was wrongly fired and deserves to have his job back. But Peters tells me that he got a letter saying not to return to work because the city plans to appeal that decision. A show of support in Torrington for a fired police sergeant who wants to get back on the force.
At what point will there be justice for Jay?
Gerald J. Peters was fired in May of 2021 for an incident that happened the year before. Body cam video shows Peters pepper spraying a suspect in handcuffs and taking him out of a wheelchair to bring him to the floor. He was fired for using excessive force, but a state labor board disagrees.
Based on their decision, I should be back to work.
The board issued a decision last week saying he was not fired for just cause. It said the suspect had been combative with officers, kicking and spitting at them prior to the incident, and that Peters did not break any of the department's rules. It found he should be reinstated as a sergeant with full back pay and no break in his seniority. But Peters said he's been told by the city not to return.
I was notified on the February 27th that I'm not to return back to work, that the city is appealing from a letter from Chief Baldwin. It just tells me at this point that I don't have the support to be a police officer, police sergeant, supervisor, commanding officer of a shift. I just don't have the support to do that.
At a Board of Public Safety meeting Wednesday evening, the matter was discussed in executive session behind closed doors. But several people spoke out in support of Peters.
How many times do you have to hear no from investigations from the labor board before you finally stand up and say, we made a mistake and we're sorry.
We're not supporting our police. How do we expect them to support us?
Peters, who was with the Torrington Police Department for nearly 20 years, says despite everything that has happened, his wish is to return.
Love my city, would love to come back, love to get back to work. If they want to appeal, then we'll continue with litigation.
Both the mayor and the chief were at tonight's meeting. I did speak to both of them briefly, but they both declined an interview, saying that they didn't want to comment on pending litigation. Live in Torrington, Gabby Molina, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Gabby, thank you very much. We are following developing news tonight. We now know the name of the CCSU student who was found unresponsive in a dorm last weekend and later died. CCSU has identified the student as 21-year-old Sarah Dina, or Sarah Redman. She was found in James Hall just before 10 Sunday morning. Redman was a senior from Burlington studying biomolecular science. A cause of death has not yet been released. CCSU will hold a moment of silence Friday morning at 10 and ring the clock tower bells in her memory.
A man from New York State accused of killing, beheading, and then skinning 2 German shepherds appeared in court today. 62-year-old Mike Konchak says that he was hunting in Ridgefield and he thought that the dogs were coyotes. The dog's owner says that anyone who's ever owned a dog would know that they were domesticated animals.
He would have noticed that the male dog had been neutered, and he would have noticed that the female dog had a large hysterectomy scar.
Based on their physical appearance and their pursuit of 2 deer that morning, as well as lack of collars or identifying tags, I made a reasonable judgment call based on these observations and believed what I saw were wild coyotes.
Konchak has no criminal history and applied for accelerated rehabilitation to avoid criminal charges, but the judge ruled that the crime was too serious for that. He's due back in court in April.
And new at 10, an alert from police in Wallingford. They're warning you tonight about a rise in stolen vehicles so far this year. Officers say they've received 24 reports of stolen vehicles in January and February. That's 7 more than the first 2 months of last year. Police say thieves are targeting vehicles left unlocked and running to warm them up in the morning. To avoid having your car stolen, lock it when you're not in it, remove any valuables, and install a remote starter if you'd like it to warm up.
Also new at 10 tonight, state police are asking for your help after a burglar stole weapons and other items from a home in Basra. Troopers say that this man took things from the home on Fitchville Road back on February 13th. If you have any information that could help the investigation, please call State Police Troop K in Colchester. Well, new at 10 tonight in the Health Watch, the pharmaceutical company Eli Lilly says that it'll be cutting the price of insulin by 70%.
Yeah, that would make the life-saving drug more accessible to people who need it. Fox 61's Jake Garcia joins us in studio with what this means for Connecticut and what lawmakers want to see from other drug companies. Jake.
Now, this impacts a lot of people, Ben and Jen, and more than 275,000 people have been diagnosed with diabetes. An additional 79,000 people have it but have not gotten a diagnosis. That's according to the American Diabetes Association. Needless to say, today's news is welcoming when prices for just about everything else seem to be going up.
For too long, people have been rationing the use of the insulin because the cost was so high. Not only diabetes became a medical condition for them, it actually became a financial condition for them.
Eli Lilly, the nation's largest drug maker for insulin, announced Wednesday that they would be cutting insulin prices by 70% and capping the out-of-pocket expense for patients to $35, something Connecticut already has in place. In 2020, Governor Ned Lamont signed a law that would cap the cost of insulin for state-regulated insurance plans to $25.
I'm so proud of being part of the state and also being a co-sponsor of the bill that actually limited and capped the cost of insulin in Connecticut.
State Senator Suwad Anwar, who leads the Public Health Committee in the General Assembly, said as a state leader and as a doctor himself, he hopes other companies follow Eli Lilly's lead.
I wish they had done this many, many years ago, but I do think that this is a starting point and other companies should do this as well.
Eli Lilly's CEO said that oftentimes discounts don't always reach patients, but this would be much needed financial relief as inflation continues to put pressure on the budgets of many Americans.
There's so many challenges in the healthcare system. The cost of healthcare is going up, the cost of medications is going up, the number of people who are actually in the healthcare field are decreasing because they don't get enough salaries or enough quality of life. All of those things are something that we have to make a policy not only for today, but about tomorrow.
State Senator Anwar also told me that the Public Health Committee is eyeing other drugs to pass similar price cap policies. That includes epinephrine and Narcan. He says those drugs should be cheaper and accessible in our state. However, there's currently no bill addressing this issue in the session so far. In studio, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Jake, thank you very much. Well, Southern Connecticut State University's College of Health and Human Services is getting $3 million to address the healthcare worker shortage in the state. The funding will go toward tuition assistance for Connecticut students and to recruit faculty members. It will also allow the school to expand its part-time nursing program and make training centers for social work students. On the bigger scale, the state colleges and university system is teaming up to address the growing shortage of workers and in nursing and in the social work fields. The CT Health Horizons initiative is putting millions of dollars into state colleges and universities to help provide more faculty and provide tuition support for students in these fields. Of course, this announcement comes in the wake of the sudden closure of Stone Academy, putting students in many medical fields in limbo for the completion of their study. About $30.5 million will be allocated to those partner colleges and universities to support these programs.